nerds. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to my show. It's called The Dictionary. My name is Spencer. Singing the song, we're just gonna sing the whole episode. No, we're not. Hello, welcome to my show. The first word, we're jumping in. Oh, I should say I'm recording this on February 27th at 10:33 a.m. Still on a little staycation here at home. I don't think I left the house at all yesterday. Nope. The first word in this episode is Etesian. Etesian. Capital E-T-E-S-I-A-N. Adjective from 1601. And this is just recurring annually. Something that just comes back every year is Etesian. If you go visit a place, you go every year in the winter to some warm place on the planet, you would be Etesian visitors, Etesian resort goers. This is used of summer winds. Summer winds, summer winds. There's a song that says summer winds, isn't there? Used of summer winds that blow over the Mediterranean. And Etesian is also a noun. So where does this word come from? It must come from somewhere. It is from the Greek etesios, which is from etos or etos, still Greek, which means year. And then there's more at the word weather, but this is the one that's not about the rain or the snow. This is W-E-T-H-E-R. But it's not whether or not, and it's not whether, like I just said, the stuff falling from the sky, or what's the weather like today? How is the weather? No, it's a different weather. I don't know if I know this weather, but it's somehow related to a year, I guess. So yeah, something that comes back every year. The Etesian summer winds, they come back every summer. Why don't I know about this? Well, that's because I don't live around the Mediterranean. Well, Greece is on the Mediterranean, and so that's why they were like, you're allowed to make up this word. You're allowed to name these winds that come every summer. Do we use this anywhere else other than just these summer winds that blow over the Mediterranean? We're the Etesian winds. We come back every year. Wait around 365 days for the Etesian winds. Okay, let's make a sound effect. I believe my sound effect is going to be whoa, whoa. We're going to play off of that. The next word is eth, with a hard th, eth, eth. Now, oh yes, this is the first of the eth words, which are going to go on for so long. This is a variation of, I guess it might be pronounced the same way, EDH, which, let's just confirm. I would think that it would be pronounced the same way, because, yes, ev, that's what it is. That's a letter used in Old English to represent either of the fricatives t, th, or th, and in Icelandic and some phonetic alphabets to represent the fricative th. So yes, I probably mentioned at the time, I've been to Iceland and I've seen these letters, and so when you see that sort of, kind of looks like a D a little bit, it's like a round and the thing in the top, it's a th sound, but mostly a th sound. That is the eth, spelled E-D-H or E-T-H. The next word is a prefix, eth, or eth prefix. It just means ethyl, as in the example ethene, which is, coming up in this episode. So if you see, often when you see this eth prefix, it means ethyl, and sometimes you just get that whole part of the word. You get the whole ethyl part in there, but not all the time. So ethene is related to ethyl, which we won't talk about for a while. We first have to talk about I hope you watch the video. It's just silly stuff. Okay, now we have the suffix eth, or just th. This is the first form. It's a verb suffix, and it is used to form the archaic third-person singular present of verbs. And that was a whole lot of information. as in the example doth. I doth protest. Okay, so let's break that down. First of all, it's old. It's archaic. It's the third person singular. So you're talking about somebody else. Third person, or is that when you talk about yourself in the third person? So I is first person, you is second person, and is it they? We're talking about the other people in third person. Singular, one person, not multiple people. Or is it doth protest? Do you? No, that would be you. I don't know. My brain doesn't get this stuff fully. Singular present of verb, so it's now. It's not in the past. It's not in the future. It's now. Is it future? Is it past? No, it's neither. It's now. Doth. Any interesting etymology? Not really. There's various forms of this from Middle English, Old High German, Latin. So yeah, they were like, we need a way to change these verbs when we're talking about the third person singular present. And so we were like, let's just put on this th, or sometimes eth. I assume this will come back up again in the T part of this whole dictionary podcast thing show, but we're not there yet. Okay. Woo. The next word is the second form of eth suffix, and it just says to see the second form of the suffix th. And is there an extra little thing there, or is it just a weird printing thing? Yeah, I think it's just the th suffix, second form. Go there if you want to know about that. Can't go there yet. You're going to have to wait a while, unless you are many years in the future checking out this podcast. And maybe that episode is available, but not for a long time. Okay, we are now getting into some quite science-y words using that eth prefix. Yes. Ooh. The next word is ethacrinic. Ethacrinic acid. The first word is ETHACRYNIC, and then the next word is acid. Noun from 1963. This is a potent synthetic diuretic, C13H12Cl2O4, used especially in the treatment of edema. So you got the edema, they might give you this ethacrinic acid, and it's potent. It's made in a lab. It's a diuretic. Is that the is that the thing that's gonna do something? I know what it is. I know it's in my brain somewhere. The diuretic is gonna make you. Is it if you're dehydrated? Is that when you want a diuretic? I can't remember. Oh, all these words are so hard. It's the eth prefix, which we know is ethyl, plus the ACRY from acrylic, the N from fen, PHEN, fen, plus the IC from acetic or acetic, and then the word acid. So it's combining ethyl, acrylic, fen, that's a fen prefix, and acetic, all combined to make ethacrinic acid. Ooh. Next is ethambutol or ethambutol. ETHAMBUTOL. Noun from 1961. I think a lot of these might be from the 60s. Yeah, the previous one was from the 60s. This is a synthetic drug, C10H24N2O2, used in the form of its hydrochloride, especially in the treatment of tuberculosis. You don't want to have the tuberculosis. Nope, that's when your tubers, your potatoes, they get all messed up and inflamed, and you got to get them fixed. So maybe you need some ethambutol. Let's see. This is from the from ethylene, the am from amine or amine, and this is interesting. The BUT and the OL from butanol. They didn't want to take all the letters. They just wanted to take the first three and the last two. Ethambutol. When I was a kid, it looked like I had been exposed to tuberculosis. You know, you get those TB tests and the arm, they like inject something under your arm, and then if it reacts, it's like, oh, you've been exposed or you have it or something. And I don't know, I was maybe 9 or 10, and I don't know if I actually had tuberculosis or if I had just been exposed to it, or maybe it was just a fluke. I don't know. I had to take a bunch of medicine, and maybe I took this ethambutol. I don't remember the name. I was like, I don't know, 9 or 10? That was a lot of years ago. Woo, 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 woo. The next word is ethane, but the Brits like to say ethane for some silly reason. Ethane. Does that make your British ears sound happy when I say ethane? Does it make your British ears sound very angry when I say ethane? Okay, this is a noun from 1866. This is a colorless, odorless, gaseous alkane, C2H6, found in natural gas and used as a fuel. If you have a thing that needs to go, it needs some sort of fuel. So you're going to put some ethane in there. I know it's a gaseous alkane. I could have told you that one. Yeah, I don't know. We have a gas, ethane. When we're talking about gassing up the car, diesel. There's all these different kinds and forms, and I feel like some of them are similar names for the same thing. I don't know all that stuff, but you know, you gotta put some ethane in your ethane powered go-kart, maybe. Ooh. Next is ethanol or ethanol. And again, the British people like to say ethanol or ethanol. This is a noun from 1892, a colorless, volatile, flammable liquid, C2H5OH. Why do I got two separate H's in there? That is the intoxicating agent in liquors and is also used as a solvent and in fuel. So you can put it in fuel. You can put it in, it's a solvent, so like it's gonna solve for math problems. It's going to, I think of a solvent as like maybe a paint thinner, something that's gonna take paint off of stuff, maybe, possibly. And it's also in liquor. This ethanol is in liquors. Oh, maybe we need to put a link in the show notes for ethanol. Which liquors? It's called also ethyl alcohol and also grain alcohol. Grain alcohol, I've heard of that used in liquors. That's, I don't know, what are we talking about? Something made from corn and rye and those sorts of things. There's rye and there's gins that maybe is different, and there's bourbons. Lots of stuff. I don't really know. I don't know. I've learned like the tiniest little amount of science from these things, and I've forgotten it all. Okay, ethanol. There's no etymology. I don't know. My sound effect is getting off. That's fine. Next, we have ethanolamine or ethanolamine, or of course, put in that long E to make the British ear sound happy. Noun from 1897, a colorless liquid amino alcohol, C2H7NO, used especially as a solvent in the synthesis of detergents and in gas purification. You got to purify the gas. I don't know. I think mine's pretty pure. Also in the synthesis of detergents. So we're creating detergents, things that are going to clean other things. Maybe it's going to clean your dishes. Maybe it's going to clean your laundry. So ethanolamine is used in all those different ways. Do you see a pattern? All of these things have been colorless, and they're just used in all these different ways. Ethyl. It's all based in ethyl, I guess. It's fascinating. Ooh. Okay, next is ethene. Ethene. Emphasize that first syllable. Ethene. Noun from 1869. The synonym is ethylene. And then I guess it just got shortened to ethene. My brain wants to do something different for this sound effect every time, and I can't think of anything. So just gonna go, ooh. Fine. Next is Ethaphon. Ethepon. Ethaphon. Noun from 1971. A synthetic plant growth regulator, C2H6Cl O3P, that induces flowering and abscission by promoting the release of ethylene. And that was the end of the sentence. Yeah, something about plant stuff. This is from the eth from ethyl, plus the phon, Phon, from phosphonic acid, which is a dibasic organic acid. I got nothing for these. I can't say anything. I don't know. So let's move on to ether. Ether, everybody's favorite ether. There's a number of definitions. Number of definitions here. Noun from the 14th century. 1a. This is the rarefied element formerly believed to fill the upper regions of space. Back in the day, they thought that the very upper tops of the space were made of ether. Rarefied element. They thought it was an actual element. Maybe they realized, they were like, oh, it's not an element. Why did they think it was? Why did they call it ether in the first place? I don't know. We'll get to the etymology eventually. Okay, so number 1b is the upper regions of space, and the synonym is heavens. Heavens to Betsy. Look at that ether. So they're just like, oh, look at it's the ether. All way up there. We can't get there. We can't, it's just the ether. What's up there in the ether? I know. It's ether. Where we at? 2A. You can also spell this one Aether if you so choose to smush the vowels together. So 2A is a medium that in the wave theory of light, is it the wave theory of light? The wave theory of light permeates all space and transmits transverse waves. Let's read that one again and adjust these because I have to hold my book in a funny way. I know. Let's switch hands. Maybe that'll be easier on my wrist. So this is a medium. Let's back up even more. We are talking about the wave theory of light. So this is the theory that light is a wave. We know that it's both a wave and a particle, but when we're talking about it in terms of being a wave, this ether is a medium that permeates all space and transmits transverse waves. It's transmitting waves transversely through space, and light is a wave, but it's also a particle. Until you look at it, it's one or the other until you observe it. Oh, complicated stuff. Okay, 2B, the synonym is airwaves. Just going through space. Like, we kind of just use space, just like open space is like, we just call it ether. It's just open space. Even though there's all this other stuff in there, we're just like, it's the ether. You know, we don't really know, but we know. We don't. 3A. This is a light, volatile, flammable liquid. Now we're getting into some real sciencey stuff here. We know this is a specific kind of ether. C4H10O, used chiefly as a solvent and especially formerly as an anesthetic. And that's the kind of thing that's going to knock you out and make you sleep, because back in the day, they're like, oh, when people smell this, they fall down sleepy time, and we can perform surgery on them when they are in this state. Oh, this is some intense stuff. Yeah, you've probably definitely seen old movies and TV shows where they, put a little ether on a napkin, on a rag, on a towel, on a something, and they're like, here, smell this. And then they go, oh, I smelled the ether. It's volatile and flammable, so don't have any flames around this stuff. Okay, well, 3b is any of a class of organic compounds characterized by an oxygen atom attached to 2 carbon atoms. It's a lot of stuff, probably. Etheric or etheric is an adjective, and so basically the ether is either what's out there in the open space or also the stuff that's going to make you sleep. So they don't use it as an anesthetic anymore, which is good because it's probably really bad for you. And what else? It's a solvent. So yeah, it's going to solve stuff. Okay, ether. This is from the Latin ether, from the Greek ether, from ethene, which means to ignite. Oh, okay. Or blaze, to ignite or to blaze. So, well, I mean, that definitely makes sense for this stuff that used to be used as an anesthetic. It was flammable, or is flammable. But how did that become this thing that's up in space and all that? It is akin to the Old English ad, which is pyre, P-Y-R-E, like a funeral pyre. That's where they burn a body. That's about flames and stuff. And there's more at the word edify. Well, they were probably like, well, the sun is up there and that's on fire, and so space is on fire and it's ablaze. I don't know what their thought process was. I couldn't tell you. I wasn't there. Was I there? The next word is ethereal, and I suspect that this is related to ether. Adjective from 1513. Number 1A, of or relating to the regions beyond the earth. Just anything that's not the earth is ethereal. 1B, the synonyms are celestial and heavenly. Up there in the stars, that's where heaven is. That's what some people say. 1C, the synonyms are unworldly and spiritual. Spiritual and unworldly. So not here on this 3-dimensional world, 4 dimensions if you add time. It's not related to that. The spirit, anything that's out there that we just don't know. We think it exists. We're not sure. We won't know until before we're born or after we die. It's ethereal. 2A. This is lacking material substance. Most things that we are aware of has material substance, but there are some things that lack material substance. It's not substantially material. So, the air kind of lacks material substance. So we can maybe say the air is ethereal. The synonyms there are immaterial and intangible. Yeah, I can't tangify the air. There's nothing for me to grab onto. It's there. There's particles. There's dust. There's atoms. There's all this stuff. There's photons and things, skin flakes, light rays coming through, maybe quarks. What else? But it's not tangible. It's ethereal. All right. 2B, marked by unusual delicacy or refinement. We're talking about something else now, as in this smallest, most ethereal, and daintiest of birds. That is a quote from William Beebe or William Beebe or William Beebe. Don't know how to pronounce that. The smallest, most ethereal, and daintiest of birds. Maybe old Bill Beebe was talking about maybe a hummingbird. It's very small. It's delicate. I don't know. While hummingbirds are small, I don't know how delicate they are. They're probably pretty hardy until something big comes along. I also think of like doilies and silk and very thin things. That would be ethereal. 2C is suggesting the heavens or heaven. Anything that's just talking about heaven, going up to heaven where they love to talk about movies, that's ethereal. 3, Relating to, containing, or resembling a chemical ether. Yep, it's related to the ether that's going to knock you out. It's ethereal. No etymology because it was in the previous one. Ethereality. It's funny that the word reality is in there. Ethereality is a noun. Etherealization is a noun. Etherealize is a transitive verb. Ethereally is an adverb. And etherealness is a noun. So many different forms of this word. Ethereally. I like to make a sound effect ethereally. Let's etherealize my sound effect. It's not tangible. Ether extract, 2 words, noun from circa 1900. The part of a complex organic material that is soluble in ether and consists chiefly of fats and fatty acids. Ether extract. It's part of a complex organic material that is soluble in ether. So when you put it in ether, it's soluble, and consists chiefly of fats and fatty acids. I don't know anything about this. Ether extract. Gotta make it real breathy. That makes it real ethereal. The last word is etherize. E-T-H-E-R-I-Z-E. This is a transitive verb from 1847. Number 1, to treat or anesthetize with ether. Yeah, watch out. I'm gonna etherize you. Do you want to be etherized? Yeah, I'm gonna have my leg cut off and then my spleen put into the leg hole. Whoa, this took a turn. So yeah, I would like you to etherize me. Number 2, to make numb as if by anesthetizing. Gonna make it numb. Well, sometimes if I'm sitting down in a funny position for a while, this just happened to me a few days ago. I had my leg up on our coffee table. I was watching a show or a movie, and then there was probably a cat on my legs as well. And then I moved them, and it was just so numb. My leg had been etherized. It had been made numb. That is one of the strangest feelings. Luckily, the blood came back pretty quickly, and it didn't last for too long. But sometimes, it just feels your leg or your foot just feels so numb and weird, and then the blood comes and it gets all pins and needly, and it's weird stuff. Weird stuff. Etherization is a noun, and etherizer is also a noun. And what happens now is that I have to pick a word of the episode. So today we had Etesian, eth, ethocrinic acid, ethambutol, ethane or ethane, ethanol or ethanol, ethanolamine, ethene, ethaphon, ether, ethereal, ether extract, and etherize. I did it. Let's see. I tempted to pick ether, but I think I'm going to pick ethereal as the word of the episode because I just like stuff that's ethereal and untangible. It's my favorite kind of thing, things that are ethereal. This is an ethereal song. It's very ambient and ethereal. All right, that was silly. I'm going to tell you about a movie that I watched, so let's bring up the list. I have been watching quite a few movies recently. Let's see. I mentioned that. Did I mention American Fiction? I watched this the second time. Some of my family hadn't seen it, so we watched it. And yeah, it's just so good. If you haven't seen it, well, the Oscars are, I think the Oscars are done. So by now we know if it won any Oscars, but it's just really good and I think really important for right now. It's just a really good blend of serious and humorous and just like life. Life is serious and also humorous. If I already mentioned that one, then I would like to also mention Blue Beetle, which I watched on the plane. Super fun, funny, just, fish out of water. Somebody's thrown into a superhero situation that they were not prepared for at all. And, it's just a fun comic book movie with representation, a group of people who is not usually represented in movies, especially superhero movies. So, go watch it. It's a fun time. Okay, this is the end of the episode. Thank you very much for watching and listening. And until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye.